So lately, there's been this trend of the buy now, pay later kind of deals, and what I find really fascinating is the kind of stuff that people are putting on there. I'll literally be ordering a mold that I plan to pour bismuth into, as you guys saw. So, for example, the mold I used to pour this Buddha, I think I picked up for $20. And even then, I have to answer a barrage of advertisements. Do you want to make 3 payments of $7 or whatever the situation is? Like, if you need to finance $20, you got big problems. But apparently, it's the trendy thing to do. A lot of people probably don't even need to finance $20. I think what's much more likely to happen is something happens that they miss a payment, right? Maybe their credit card stops working, or they move and forget to change the mail. And then the companies will charge you an arm and a leg in terms of fees. When I was a kid, what was really popular was when you went to shop for furniture, a lot of furniture stores would advertise no interest or payments for 7 years, and if you forgot to pay at the end of the 7 years, they would add all 7 years of interest on the back end of the bill. Although I think my family got burned with one of those deals one time, and it really instilled a lesson to hate these kind of deals, which is probably why I still hate these deals. I used to love those furniture advertisements. No interest, no payments, until some future date that, the day when we'll finally have private spaceships and cars that fly, right? Or every time I hear a future year, it always sounds really futuristic for some reason. Like back in the day, the year 2020 was really futuristic. And I remember my classmates and I were talking about the future year 2020. And I remember thinking to myself, God, I hope we never have to go out again. I used to be an introvert. I loved to hide in my room to study about various AI. I wrote a computer program to calculate pi to 1,000,000 digits when I was 14 years old. And I remember thinking all our needs are going to be taken care of. I could just hide out at home and write programs to calculate pi all day long. And so for many years, I put that idea in the back of my mind that I had ever said that. Well, 2020 came around, I got my wish. And so that was that. But lately, there's been a trend to buy now and pay later. Now, it reminds me of another sore issue of mine, which is that people like to change the description of what they're doing to suit what you like to hear. So everybody knows that those no interest, no payment, same as cash deals are a scam. Everybody knows payday loans are a scam. And so these companies know that they can't use those words anymore. And so they call it buy now, pay later. So I do private tutoring, and one of my biggest soreness is students who cancel at the last minute. You got a student from 4 to 6 o'clock. Now keep in mind, when you have a student at 4 to 6, it's not just you teleport somewhere at 4, you do your work, and you teleport right back, right? Oftentimes by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you're kind of thinking, where can I go, right? So for example, if I have a student at 4 o'clock, I can't just fire up my furnace for making bismuth at 2 o'clock, right? That stuff needs time to cool down. I don't want to step away unattended from that when it's still hot in my apartment. And so 2:30, the phone rings. Oh my God, something happened. We got to cancel. And I put all this time aside to make it happen, and they don't show. And so usually I'll let them know there's a cancellation policy. They need to cancel at least 24 hours ahead of time. The problem is that some of these students and or their families now come up with an even more clever way to talk about canceling. They'll not use the word cancel. What they'll do is they'll reschedule it. They'll be late a little bit. Now, it's really convenient because they always reschedule it to a time they know I'm not going to be available. So, for example, you got a 4 to 6 student. Can we come a little bit late at 5? They know it's a Friday afternoon. I want to get out of there at 6. They know I'm not going to be agreeable to that. And so now when I tell them I can't do that, now they feel like they get off scot-free, right? It kind of, the buy now, pay later kind of reminds me of that. I think they wanted to cancel in the first place, right? They just did the rescheduling as a roundabout way to cancel without penalty.